Anyway, you got me Harley Quinn hat. I don't know how many days or months back, or about a year later. It's already a year old, but what the hell, I'm wearing it anyway. I just want to share the reason why it's secret, but a story where uh, well, all I could really say is, it was. We're trying to make this damn thing. It's kind of because, Lacey's grandmother's been calling me too from the live video. Is when I saw it, and so I'm glad I did, so I can finally beer, because this is gonna be another long story. We'll try to finish it all off with part two, but if not, I can always make. Oh, oh my god. Oh yeah. Much, bro. It really does. It's gonna be fucked up. Since my dad left from my grandma, she had 4 cats, and it was an older German Shepherd, because even though his name was Bo. My grandma's 4, I can't remember, but Jasper, he was the only black name too. My grandma, never let her have sweets. My dad, cookies, and other stuff. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Here you go. I'm on that fucking diet. Why not? So my dad hated it. And I said, well, Dad, I don't want to eat healthy, and I want to eat sugar and stuff. He said, no, it's not good for you, because I never understood. And thank God that my dad was trying to get me out of sweets, and because I got boobs and shit, temper tantrum. Your ass can get your ass fed. Oh my God. I hope you guys never missed anything, but yeah, I'm going to repeat myself now because the internet's being stupid. I said, Dad, I don't want to fucking do it. I just don't want to do it. He said, well, too bad, because you've been taking vitamins. You got to take vitamins, son. You got to keep yourself healthy. I want your metabolism to speed. And and he said, I want you to be skinny. It's the best thing for you. Trust me, son. You'll feel a lot better, and everything. But I didn't understand. So, so basically, I was sitting there pissed as hell. I said, fine, you know. So then I ended up eating carrots, a little bit of pasta, and because even though I'm not allowed to have pasta, then I was never allowed to have bread. And he gave me little pieces of fucking food every time we went to the restaurants. We went to this one place called the Olive Garden, and if you guys never tried it, I highly recommend you guys try it. It's fucking amazing. Wherever you guys live at in the United States, around the world, if you guys have Olive Garden is the shizness. It is fucking awesome. So, I was sitting there, munching away anyway. I was starving. Okay, I feel like I was starving for ages, and because this is when my dad started taking me to Olive Garden, and he gave me a fucking little piece of chicken like this, a little piece of chicken, um, and then he gave me uh, tons of not mashed potatoes. What's it fucking called? Mixed vegetables and other stuff, scallions, all that stuff. I was eating healthy. whether I didn't like it or not. And so my dad was like, he's a good son. And because, they really put like sea salt. I could really taste sea salt for some reason. I could tell between sea salt and kosher salt and, idolized sauce. Idolized salt. I can't fucking say it right because I'm tongue tied. I'm stoned already. So, you know what I'm saying? I was eating that real good. I liked it a lot, and it was covered in sea salt and and some kind of healthy butter, like vegan butter, and it was the fucking shit, and I loved it. I fucking munched on it like if there was no tomorrow. I mean, I fucking ate, and then finally I was full as hell though. I mean, eating all that nice healthy stuff at Olive Garden, and dude, I'm telling you, I was stuffed, and I'm just sitting there like, bro, I'm stuffed, Dad. Okay, son. Well, good boy. At least you eat your food. Excuse me. So, what really pissed me off is when the waitress came around, knowing my dad's going to say no, about sweets. My dad, okay, like for example, here comes a fucking waitress. They said, "Okay, guys, since you guys finished up your main courses, do you guys want any pie or ice cream or something? Do you guys want to eat something sweet? You like dessert?" And my dad would be like, "No, please." That pissed me off the most fucking thing that really pissed me off ever, which was my dad saying no. I'm like, "But Dad," he said, "Son, trust me on this." So after that, we had to skip dessert. Hated doing that. I love dessert. I was wanting to eat something sweet so bad. I mean, I haven't had no candy, no nothing, no pop, just flat out water, juices, and Kool-Aid. Well, not Kool-Aid because it had sugar in it. Well, I did have Kool-Aid because it had that. Um, it tasted like sugar, but it wasn't sugar. But you know what I'm saying. So she put that in the Kool-Aid, and I mean, she kept everything vegan and just a little bit. I mean, no, I was allowed to get a little bit of carbs, and shit, and some other fattening stuff like protein, all that stuff. And see, my dad knew I didn't like chili. So my dad made it super cheesy, made it super super cheesy, even though the cheese is really unhealthy. Even if you eat so much of it, my dad been really such in a good mood that night. I mean, he's I don't know what he was put in a good mood about, but probably his best friend Brian was cheering him up. Wow, him and yeah. Oh my god, he was cheering my dad up. And so I think that's what it was, but I was really not really hungry at the time. And but when I saw my dad's chili covered in cheese, I was really really like, what is this? I thought it was nothing but smashed pinto beans. Okay, but no, it was just cheese because I seen it really stringy coming out of the fucking pot. Um, I mean, he put that Mexican cheese on it. What I think that's what it was. No, it was Mexican cheese and provolone cheese and hard cheddar. But he did that for me. He put that slop on my plate, which was that chili and covered in cheese, and he gave me little saltine crackers. Um, you know what I'm saying? I was eating everything salty at the time, and my dad would be like, "What do you want, son? What do you want to drink?" And that's all I had was apple juice, cranberry juice, any different kind of juices you can think of that was super healthy for kids. And so before I even ate, I mean, I was vitamins before bed, and every morning he'll fix me a fucking fantastic breakfast, man. Everything would be very healthy. We had healthy eggs, and that was for cholesterol and stuff because you know but my dad kind of heavenly salted it, not like too much salt, but I'm just saying salted, like a sift of it, on the eggs, and it was still good with that vegan butter too. So, and then I was forced to eat cereal. Okay, even I didn't really like cereal as a kid. I mean, see, my dad was trying to make me reboot um my fucking my food appetite, which was healthy stuff. But I really didn't want to eat healthy. I still was still bored off of it. I mean, I didn't even know if I was skinny or not, you know. But every morning he'll fix me breakfast and shit, which was super healthy stuff, alongside with berries and you know what I'm saying, and glass of fucking OJ right in front of my face, you know. He said, you have to drink that OJ now, because you have to strengthen your immune system. It's getting colder outside. So I said, okay. I was still really upset since I was really, really eating really healthy. I mean, I was really eating healthy because everything was healthy in the house, and so I was like, okay, I'll eat, I'll drink it. So I was still happy. I was still unhappy that I was never allowed to have sweets. Finally, I convinced my dad when I was at Jungle Gyms with him and stuff. He was looking for some new healthy stuff for the plate, and everybody to enjoy because we only had two family members coming over, which was my uncle Tad or Ted, yeah, my uncle Ted, and not Tad, but my uncle Ted, and then it was someone else, and I think it was my great grandma. Can't remember her freaking name. I think it was I think Aretha. I can't remember. Um, so not my grandpa, but my uncle Ted, from Milwaukee. But I think he's dead now, so I haven't heard from him since. But I don't fucking know. Uh, but they came around. Uh, so I think that was my great grandma's son. Yeah, great grandma's son and my grandma's brother. That's probably what it was. And talking very silent all the time. I'm sorry, but yeah, they were brothers. Not well, mother and son. So, so we all had that stuff, uh, that one night. But I convinced my dad. Okay, before my dad was looking for some different stuff to put on the plate. I said, Dad, I really want to get one of these what are they fucking called? Twizzlers, Twist and Fill, or whatever they're called. Twizzlers Phillips, and I was sitting there like, oh, I want them so bad, dude. I said, Dad, come on, please, please, I'm craving something sweet, please, Dad. I feel like my sugar is really running low a bit, please. Fine, please. He said, all right, just please shut up for a minute, son. I'm gonna look for something. So he finally put in the fucking cart. I watched him because if I didn't watch him, his ass would put it right back to the shelves, and that would and he knew that would piss me off. So he kept it in the cart because I kept a close eye on it for. I kept a close eye out on it and stuff. And every aisle we went, I was still eyeing it. And he said, "Well, here, son, if you want to hold it so fucking bad, hold it, motherfucker. If you think I'm gonna put in aisles, you're fucking wrong." So my dad was getting pissed off about me spotting the candy, and even though he was going to put it in the shelves, and he said he wasn't. He said he was going to put it in the fucking shelves. Bullshit. He would lie to my fucking face, and I knew he was lying. And so that's So I mean, it was a big motherfucking bag of Twizzlers, um, you know, uh, Phillips, and they were. I can remember the flavor too. It was kiwi and watermelon, and it was the best motherfucking treat I've ever ate in my life. And this is one of my favorites. And now they're extinct now because they don't make them anymore. Hershey, Pennsylvania don't make them anymore. That's what really pisses me off. So, I had my dad sleep, you know. off more than any fucking thing. Okay, and then finally, after my sweets were gone, you know, for since hits 2003, my sweets were gone. I mean, I saved them till December, or actually January 1st. I was wanting to save them until January 1st, but then no, my dad wanted to get them out of the house faster, so me and him just ate them. But mostly he ate most of my sweets every night. I mean, he grabbed a fucking big ass grate full of them. You know, I was mad at him for it, but I said, Dad, is there any more? No, I was mad. I said, fuck you. But no, I didn't say that. But I was really like, man, I said, okay. I was mad. He said, well, don't get mad at me, son. I was hungry. I'm like, well, I wonder why it smells like skunk around the house. Because, he said, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He said, I just farted. Knowing my dad really did smoke marijuana downstairs in the fucking basement. My dad just lied. My dad always lied to me as a fucking kid. So, here's dad, talking about taking me to second grade and already in elementary school. And I said, well, I don't want to go to school. Why not? And I said, because school's boring. I didn't want to learn. Okay, I didn't want to I didn't want to get out of the fucking house and learn. He said, well, son, you're gonna have to learn one way or other. He said, okay, if you want to get out of school, why don't we do homeschool for you, so teachers can come around. And I said, no, I don't want that. He said, well, son, you're gonna have to think of something. I'm not letting you stay in the fucking house where you don't learn. No, I ain't letting that happen. So I still didn't understand why he wanted me to learn. So he took me to before I'd been convinced to go to school. He took me to um, Jefferson Elementary. I'm gonna show you this fucking place soon. It's not up anymore in Hamilton. But I know for a fact when I go to work or before I go to work or whatever, if I do walk past it, I'll basically show you the building that the building Jefferson used to be. It was a big ass elementary school, talking big motherfucking school. Um, so you know what I'm saying. I was really convinced to go to school. You know what I'm saying. So I had this teacher named Miss Green. Uh, she was a kind of a bitch. When I had her for the longest time. But uh, I remember one time she when she heard a bad report about me because I was mostly starting trouble in school then, and mouthing off to the teachers, threatening students and shit. That's when I was just so bad in school, and so here comes Miss Green. Did you tell her? Did you tell him you want to smack him? You know, and I'm just sitting there like, no, I didn't. She's like, well, yeah, you did. If you want to hit him, hit him, hit him. And she just wants to shut up. I said, she's like, hit him. So she's like, if you don't hit him, she said, if you hit him, your butt is going to be suspended from school for a few weeks. And I knew that what that meant. If I did hit him, yeah, I would have been suspended for 3 weeks. And knowing my ass won't hear the end of it if I ever got home. And if my dad was ever, and like say for example, if I got into serious trouble and if I did hit that fucking kid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would have been put to fucking elementary school. Not elementary school. What the fuck? I would have been put to, you know, expel or not expulsion, but not expulsion, but I'm talking about. See, I can't think straight, guys, because I'm stoned. I'm stoned as fuck. But yeah, I would have been suspended. I really would. My dad, I would be in trouble I if I ever fought a kid in school. My dad would probably busted my ass. I would be in fucking trouble. But no, luckily I didn't hit the kids. So I um, went to the office. I had the nicest principal, and she was very nice about it. She said, no, honey, you can't keep on saying you're gonna hit someone around here. Because one of these days, they're not gonna tolerate it, and you're gonna be going far away sometime. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they didn't want to tell me what that meant. So I didn't know if the hell they were gonna talk to me and well tell me what fire means. What is that? But finally, I asked my teacher, Miss Green, after she was in a good mood, 3 days in school. Um, so I asked Miss Green. I said, Miss Green, even though I was in second grade, I said, Miss Green. She said, yeah. I said, remember yesterday I was. She's like, yeah. Anything you want to tell me? Any reasons why? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. She's like, yeah, but you should never do that. You know. She's like, you're really putting frowny faces on your papers. And the more your dad will see them for the rest of the week, he's gonna be very upset about you now. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm deeply sorry, and I won't do it again. I said, but what does it mean to go far, far away? And she looked at me like I was really retarded. She said, she said, what do you mean? I said, well, somebody told me that I was gonna be going far, far away. She's like, oh, that was the principal. She's like, honey, I gotta tell you this. She's like, she said, before even I tell you what it means. And she said, students, go outside, play outside for a while. I'm gonna talk to Matthew for a while, or Matt. That's why everybody called me, and going to school anyway. That's how it became my fucking name in school. My fucking nickname was Matt. Every fucking school I went to, everybody knew me as just Matt. That's why I like being called Matt now. I don't like being called Matthew. But no, she told everybody, yeah, go downstairs and play, and everything, or go play with toys. I'm gonna talk, go play outside. Each one of you guys, I'm gonna talk to Matthew for a little bit, or Matt. So she's like, sit down. All right. So I sat down, and every kids went out of school, and they'd be close to do it. So she said, no. She's like, I know. She's like, I know. I know. I put everybody away, because people were not doing things anyway. So they just went outside. But she said the reason why I'm not taking you outside is I can talk to you. I said, okay, that's fine. If you want to talk to me, that's fine. Feel free. And so she said, Matthew or Matt or Matthew Dwayne Moore, whatever. She says, you have the shortest fucking temper ever. And don't tell your dad I cussed in front of you. I said, Miss Green, I hear it all the time. She said, I like you a lot, Matthew. Um, but your attitude is really terrible. I should say your temperament is very, and we don't like that. We don't like your temperament being very high, because what if you hurt someone? You know? And I said, well, I don't mean to be how I am. She's like, yeah, but it's like if somebody really pisses you off, you go to the point where you want to fucking go crazy. So I said, what do? I don't remember. She's like, you don't remember at all. She's like, Matthew, you're in good health, and you should do remember. You should remember what you and shit, and you should what you've been doing. But I said, what did I do? I'm serious. I don't remember. Okay, well, this may be. You said you're gonna hit someone one day, and you didn't do it. Well, you're lucky you didn't do it, because you would have been, suspended for 2 weeks or something like that. I, I really. I said, well, I'm deeply sorry. I really feel because she was making me feel bad of what I've done, and so I really had to say sorry to her. And so I said, what does far, far away mean? You never even really told me what far, far away means. She said, now that right there, um, she's, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm not saying you're in bad. I'm not saying you're ill mannered, but I just remembered now. She said that's the reason why I said now that, and I didn't remember that, for a minute. She said now that, I forgot about that, but I'm gonna tell you what far, far away means. I said, what's that mean? What do you mean by far, far away? She said, Matthew, it means that you're gonna be locked up and maybe not even see your dad ever again. You know what I'm saying? And that took to the point where I said, well, and I mean, something put me to the point where it possessed me to tell me why, where will I be going, how many days or weeks or years I'll be staying there. She said, well, um, she said, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? She'd be like, I don't know. It depends what they want to do to you. And, you know what I'm saying? And she said, even if you might not see your family ever again, they might put you in prison. You don't want that, do you? I said, no. Okay. She said, go straighten up. So I did. And that kind of changed my life. Even I was getting well behaved and stuff. And, you know, so I came back home and everything. And my dad's like, so did your teacher really talk to you about things? You look like you're all upset. And so I said, well, I said, yeah. So he's like, what did he tell you? What did she tell you about? And I told him everything. He said, well, son, he said, I know you get really bored when you're at home. So what I'm going to do is take you to a program. I want you to go to YMCA. And the YMCA is, close by what used to be called Taft. Now it's Hamilton High School, Hamilton Big Blue. I mean, I was going over there to the YMCA, and because the YMCA is close by Taft, and I was sitting there like, having this good, how you explain it, fucking good program, and I really liked it. I hung out with kids I didn't know. I slowly had a best friend, and her name was Hope, and I liked her very much because she was always very cool and stuff. But what? You really need to go to Fort Elizabeth. I will. I know. Just chill. So anyway, uh, but yeah, man. I mean, like her name was Hope, and then I saw this one chick, and she was Asian, and her name was Elena, and I really, really, really liked her, and she looked very pretty. I didn't care if she had braces in her mouth. I didn't care if she had, glasses. I really liked her, and I said, well, hi, what's your name? And she looked at me with smiles. I didn't know if this Asian chick was going to be shy or what. But no, she wrapped her arms around me. She said, well, hi, what's your name? And I said, well, Matt. And she said, well, glad to meet you, Matt. Uh, I didn't know what to expect. So I said, I like you a lot. You're pretty cool. So she's like, yeah, I do too. So we start hanging out more and stuff. And I said, well, what school do you go to? Oh, I go to school Jefferson, and I see you all the time there. I'm like, when did you see me? Oh, every time, you walk by me, every time I was going to my class, or I would see you at lunch. And I'd be like, that's cool. I said, I said, I really like you, I'd like to date you sometime. She's like, well, I don't know about that. Um, she said, even though I'm kind of ugly. I said, you're not ugly, because even though you have braces, even though you have glasses, doesn't mean shit to me because you look pretty. I didn't say shit, but I said, it doesn't mean crap to me because you look pretty. So she's like, oh. And so she's like, you're so cute. Grabbing my cheek and like, you're so cute. And I blushed. I'm taking off this hat now. Hope you guys like this Harley Quinn Harley Quinn hat. If you guys like this Harley Quinn hat, give me a like, please, because I love Harley Quinn. Anyway, continue the story. So basically, this is what happened. When I went to school, I mean, I know it kind of stopped in dead story there, but I knew I was gonna continue. So basically, I was sitting there, at lunch, okay, and I saw Elena there, and she played it off like she didn't know me. She was being fake as hell. She was being a bitch, and no, I'm not talking about Asians that way, but most Asians are not like that. I know that. She was just being a complete asshole to me. You know, I mean, it was just so bad, and it was just so bad. And then she acted like she knew who I was and stuff. And then finally, she dated another fucking guy after all of that. You know what I'm saying? After I asked her out in the YMCA and yeah, in that program, she just dated the fucking guy named fucking Kenny. And she tells me all the time, "Oh, I get hit from him all the time." Yeah, Kenny's the best one for me. I love blonde-haired boys instead of brunette boys. They're a piece of shit. I'm thinking, fuck you too, then, cunt. You know, I'm thinking that, but I didn't say it out loud. But I really wanted to say it to her. But as a kid, I said, well, screw you too. Being mean to her and shit. And then here comes fucking one guy named Alan Wiki. I remember this fucking guy, man. I'll take one good hit again. Damn, this is rough. Like a rough hitter. It's not really soothing. It's burning my throat. Oh well, I'm gonna keep a smoke out of it anyway. So basically, I fucking, I just kind of fucking went off on it, man. So well, screw you too. You're mean to me and everything else, and I don't like you either. Well, I felt heartbroken, days later, man. I mean, I kept on looking at her, and everything, and I kept on looking at her every fucking day, man. She's like, stop looking at me. Damn. She's like, you're an idiot for looking at me. I'm like, kept on looking at her and shit, and I didn't care. Then months or weeks later, she started sitting close by me because her friend, well, her classmate was coming across my classmates. So, even her teacher was out for a while, you know what I'm saying, because she was super sick and everything. So she had to sit right next to me, right? I'm thinking, I thought you didn't like me no more. You know? She's like, well, she's like, I don't. I'm like, okay, why in the hell are you sitting close by me if you don't like me? I didn't say that. I said, why in the heck you still sitting close by me if you don't like me? Well, she's like, I don't know. And I'm just sitting there like, you do like me, do you? You know? No, I don't. Stop saying shit like that, And I'm like, whatever. Uh, yeah, it was just so bad, you know? And then finally I looked at her again and tried to piss her off. I hope this is not burning the fucking paint. Huh? I don't fucking know. I know. And so basically, so I was trying to talk to her again and everything, right, guys? And she was just sitting there like, "Go, stop talking to me!" Smacked me across the face around me. Well, she smacked me across the face and everything. She's like, "Stop talking to me!" And I said, "What's your problem, Elena?" And my eyes were watering a little bit because I was kind of hurt. And she's like, yeah, cry, cry. I'm like, answer my question. What's going on? She's like, I don't like you. I'm like, well, you're dating one guy, why don't you date, why don't you dump him and come after me? I chose you first. Well, it's too late now, you know, being a bitch. Like, I think that's the reason why she's, being the way she is, but I think she's being abusive towards me anyway. And Kenny was being sitting there laughing over the fucking other table and shit. He was sitting there laughing at me like, dumb idiot. Laughing at me and shit. Like, who you calling idiot, man? Yeah, you. I was really wanting to fucking knock his ass out, man, because he was being an asshole to me. But as a kid, I couldn't, because if I did, I'd be, you know, in huge shit. So finally, this is when I went back to the YMCA for a while. I was finally going to the new YMCA close by the parking garage in Hamilton, downtown Hamilton. And this is, haven't seen her for a long time then, because they always drove me to a different YMCA. Um, but they always kept me at the close by the parking garage. So I'm just sitting there like, minding my own. I haven't seen the line anywhere. And I was just a brand new guy in there anyway. So, what I'm saying? They said, what's your name? You look brand new here. I said, yeah, because my dad put me here because he did. And because he knew they had a better swimming pool and better people to talk to, because he knew I didn't want to get abused anymore. Because I told him every fucking thing. And so my dad, he took me to that YMCA I told you guys about. So I was the only one white kid there, and there was tons of black kids there, man. It was really, really bad, and I got picked on so bad. Everybody called me, Whitey, Cracker, and shit like that, all the racist shit. Even Donut Head, Burger Head, you know, all that stupid shit. I mean, making fun of me. It's not funny, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not funny. So I'm just sitting there like, whatever, guys, screw all you guys. Finally, one day when they kept on picking on me and everything, this is before, well, after I got out of my dad's house, I flipped down on him. But I'll tell you what I said in a little bit. Uh, what I'll tell you about, when my dad was getting worse on me. Anyway, when I was going back home anyway. So after all the words they said to me and shit, my dad was like, "Oh, you big pussy," and everything. And it was, I'm like, well, I'm not going back anymore. I quit. And he said, that's fine. And so I didn't have to go back. So this is when my dad was becoming more harsh on me just because I didn't go to the YMCA. And so he knew I was going to stay in the house and he knew I was going to come back from school every single day now. So what happened was, here comes the dark part. My dad was deciding to put me on medicine, which was the dumbest thing to ever to do to a child, even if they don't, even though if they are in their childhood or whatever, or or if they're not even hyper or whatever, if they're laid back kids. Because I was a good kid, but my dad was counting me as a bad kid, even though he thought I was always hyper and I wasn't. So here's my dad thinking of putting me on medicine, and even though this is how I'm really fucked up, even worse than ever before. Because my anxieties used to be to the point where it was very violent. It was really making me want to commit suicide with along all that stuff as a kid, and that's when I was never taking medicine. Um, and it was fucking me up bad. But once I started taking medicine, it kind of got worse because what I'm saying, the anxiety mixing with my depression and uh, and all that shit mixing together would make me have a seizure. And it was getting really bad with the medicine. So what happened? The medicine was making me have the seizure because I was taking Ritalin, uh, and Concerta and some other stuff, and Ritalin will make you have seizures. So that's probably what it was in the daytime. So, you know what I'm saying? I probably don't remember shit. I probably don't remember nothing after all I had those seizures because I don't remember them at all. So I told my dad about it, and I said, "Dad, you're gonna have to lower the milligram." And so he's been a complete dickhead. I mean, higher the fucking milligram. See if that would work. No, it got me much worse. My anxiety was to the point where, and I'm just sitting there sweating, and I'm sitting there crying because I knew I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. And it was just really bad. My dad would sit there and laugh at me and shit. Finally, my grandma convinced him to lower down the milligram. And he said, fine. He got pissed because he wanted to try to kill me anyway. Um, so, anyway, what happened was he lowered down the milligram. And, yeah, I think it was like 100 milligram. Yeah. And 100 milligram was just kind of settling, but yeah. And the reason why he said I needed it is because I was being too hyper. I was never paying attention. Um, you know what I'm saying? Mouthing off and all that stuff. So my dad just put me on the fucking medicine. I mean, I was just a fucking good kid. So why in the fuck was he putting me on that medicine? I don't fucking know. Because my dad's a retard. So this is what fucking happened. You know, after my dad was being so much harsher on me and I was taking those medicines every fucking day, I stopped taking vitamins. You know, I started growing boobs. Like, believe it or not, I got boobs. It's terrible. So because I think it was all that, I think it was the Concerta, no. Or was it the Ritalin? Nope. What was it? Risperdal. Yeah, the Risperdal. The Risperdal was making me have boobs as a fucking kid, and me being skinny, I didn't want to look like I had fucking boobs. So my dad kept making me take them and then take them and take them. So I got kind of chubby on my stomach too. So thank God my boobs didn't overgrow my stomach. Okay, I was really happy about that. Yeah. So the fucking, I mean, I told, my dad's like, but geez, oh Pete, son, I think you're getting fat again. I'm like, no, Dad, it's because the medicine, you're messing me up. You're making me to the point where I'm gonna get ill soon. He said, well, good. My dad didn't care. I mean, even though I had this fucking doctor named Dr. Cressy, he was a complete fucking dickhead. Hated him so much. And I'll tell you what about that later. But yeah, I mean, he was being harsh to me too. And then, but I love my fucking what's his fucking name? Jeff Moskowitz. And I loved him because of my counselor. I mean, he was very close. So yeah. Then after I start getting settled on my medicine and everything, and then here comes the point where my dad was taking me to my Dr. Cressy, and yeah, being really rude to me and shit. What kind of medicine do you take? Do you? It's like, Jesus, dude. He's like, hurry up, come on. I don't have no time. Come on. And I'm like, okay, damn. For an old man, he's in a fucking rush. So, and I had to tell him, well, here's, I said, well, can you basically lower down the milligram? He's like, I can't do that, sir. I can't do that because your dad won't highly recommend it. He won't do it. I'm sorry. Being a complete dick at me, and I'm like, whatever. So, so he gave me the fucking prescription. Here, give this to your dad and have a fucking nice day. Slam the fucking door. Just like that. So I think he was speeding on some kind of fucking cocaine, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing. So, whoops. Can you grab that? So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's when I started finally getting used to my medicine. Finally, things were starting to adjust better. I was starting to pay more attention. I think I was becoming more smarter. It's like kind of remember things. So yeah. And then once my dad, he decided to take me to the mall, and this is why I'm so obsessed with the mall, because my Aunt Kathy used to take me to the Tri-County Mall, not Tri-County Mall, which was Forest Fair Mall. She took me to the Forest Fair Mall, and And I loved going to the mall ever since I was a kid. I really did. Forest Fair Mall probably don't look the same anymore, but I guarantee you, it probably looks better. Probably, you know. Um, but that was way downtown in Fairfield. So my dad decided, take me to the mall, and he took me to Forest Fair. And I was and just that's only when I was just well behaved, and he would take me to the mall every time because I love going to the mall for some reason. I love going to hang out, going to buy things and stuff, eating at the food court, and he knew I loved it. And he said, "You want to try something new, son, at the food court?" And I said, "Sure." So he gave me some Chinese, and that was the best fucking Chinese food I ever ate in my life. I mean, I was sitting there munching on. I mean, I was sitting there munching away. He said, "Son, slow down. You're gonna get sick." And so, and then after I was done eating Chinese, he took me to go eat a big pretzel and stuff, with cheese. And after that, my dad said, "You want to go to the CD store?" I think it was called Best Buy. And I said, "Sure. Let's go to the Best Buy." And this is when they were still selling like computer games. My dad is obsessed with PC games. I mean, even fucking rock music and shit. So my dad would go different aisles of get some fucking awesome games for his PC, man. I mean, fucking um, Legend of Grimrock, fucking what else did he get? Fishing games and shit like that. I mean, it was fucking like crazy shit. And I mean, I love going in there. I love going into Best Buy because this motherfucker smelled just like CDs and electronics. I love the smell of it. I don't know why. So, um, so my dad's like, "Let's go to the CD aisle, son." So we went to the CD aisle, and talking about my dad, he said, "Come over to the rock section." I was looking at country CDs anyway. I was looking at Johnny Cash. I was looking at Alan Jackson, Alabama, Dave Allen Coe. I was looking at Travis Tritt, all that stuff. Um, I'm just sitting there like, "Wow, look at the country section, Dad." He said, "Come here. I want to show you some rock. Quit being a pussy. Come here." So my dad would fucking take me by the hand. He said, "Look," and he let me point with my own hand. He said, "Look, rock CDs everywhere, man." I'm like, "What's rock?" Dude, what he grabbed, guys, okay, and this is the God's honest truth. He fucking grabbed Metallica, Creed, Godsmack, Drowning Pool, Tool, fucking another Creed CD, yeah, another Creed CD, a Pink Floyd CD, a fucking I mean, he grabbed, Stained. I mean, crazy fucking rock bands I didn't even fucking know. Even Nirvana. My dad would grab everything fucking, and even Motorhead. Motorhead lovers. I love Motorhead too. Um, he would grab that shit. And I mean, and even there would be that movie coming out, which was Triple X, Vin Diesel. When that movie was brand new, my dad would buy that as a VHS tape. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have no DVDs yet, and so my dad wanted to started his collection first of VHS tapes, then DVDs, and now we got Blu-rays. So he probably has some Blu-rays now. So this is what happened. So he bought all those rock CDs I mentioned, plus the PC games I mentioned, plus he was buying some VHS tapes. Hey, I need my charger. My phone's like that. Okay, it's right here. It's plugged in too. Yeah, I'm plugging in my phone. Oh, careful. So, what I'm saying? He was looking at the VHS tapes. Like I said, he bought Triple X of Vin Diesel. Now, then he bought, after he bought that Vin Diesel tape, he wanted to buy other crazy movies. Like fucking, what was it called? I mean, my dad got me into action so fucking bad. I mean, he got me into action movies so bad, and I just don't know how he did it. But man, my dad made me become a little man. Seriously. But anyway, he bought Vin Diesel, the Triple X movie. Like I said, he bought what's it fucking called? Lionheart. Fucking what else? Western movies, because he got me into Western movies. Then he bought, which was the Tombstone one, and then he bought another fucking VHS. What was it? Oh, Brother Art Thou. That's what it was. Then that's when he was sinking in the country with me. Okay, actually, not country. It was bluegrass. I started falling in love with bluegrass the same time he did. That's way before, or actually, way after I started listening to country. But he got me into bluegrass. Then he got me into rock and roll. But I'll tell you about rock and roll in a minute. My dad would pop in a "Oh Brother Art Thou" CD, and his CD player, and it hooked up to his car, like with a jacks, put in there, and it'll play the music. So my dad would play that, which was "Oh Brother Art Thou" CD, which was the music CD. And then he got me into Christmas music and stuff. But yeah, okay, let's talk about fucking the rock CDs. I know you guys probably want to listen to this. Most of your metal bands out there are rock bands or something like that. Uh, Now, my dad told me to come downstairs to his basement, right? And my dad will fucking listen to like Bob Seger and shit, man. He would play that one song, "Against the Wind." He said, "You know what song is this, son?" I said, "No." He said, "It's Bob Seger, Against the Wind." So that was my first rock and roll CD, not CD, uh, music I've ever heard, which was "Against the Wind." Then he got dead serious, and he played some. He played after that. He played some rock bands on the radio station. It was WEBN. That had Van Halen, and had all that fucking crazy shit in there. Um, and then my dad would be like, you know what, fuck it, since there's nothing on, get on there, because my dad didn't like Slayer, um, or fucking Slipknot. He didn't like none of that shit. He just liked his own rock bands that I already mentioned. Um, but yeah, it was crazy. My dad would pop in that motherfucker, turn the son bitch so loud, in his basement, and I think he popped in Metallica first. Then he started smoking his cigarette. You know, he started listening to Metallica, which was the Black Album, and that fucking album rocked. It was fucking awesome. I fell in love with that fucking album, and I'm like, wow, this is some cool rock band, rock music, Dad. So he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah. So he put in Creed's greatest hits, and he had Creed's Human Clay as well. He had Creed's Human Clay. He played that, and I liked that as well. He played Creed's greatest hits, like that as well. Um, I mean, he played Nirvana. He played you know, fucking Drowning Pool, all that stuff. And I'd be getting into it big time. I'm just sitting there rocking with it, man. Fucking awesome. And I just love rock music now. That's why I'm into that now. Also, he got me into uh, looks like Christmas music. Music was really good, and then he got me into Christianity music. Uh, then he got me into a little bit of his own country, which I asked him about Johnny Cash, and my dad didn't really like Johnny Cash. My dad, he thought he was always a fucking asshole and a druggie and a piece of shit. Which was Johnny Cash was his all time fucking favorite, man. I'm not his all-time favorite, but my all-time favorite. And he was talking about shit about my fucking favorite singer, which was Johnny Cash. I mean, it was my fucking favorite singer, and he was just talking about him. And but yeah, every time you hear Johnny Cash on the radio, turn it. You're like, now this is a song you listen to, which is Montgomery Gentry. You know, it's called, and then the song was called My Town. And then I was listening to Phil Vassar. I was listening to Alan Jackson. I started sinking into Alan Jackson big time. Um, I was sinking into Garth Brooks big time, and I was loving that. I was loving listening to Alabama. I was loving listening to uh, Johnny Paycheck on the radio. I mean, even though he was on there little by little. The Highwaymen. I was still listening to The Angels Love Bad Men, and I can't remember that good song that was still good to this day. But yeah, he made me listen to some crazy good shit. So, you know, after all that, I started listening to techno by myself. And my dad's like, turn that gay shit off, son. What the fuck you listening to? Didn't want to listen to it. You know, he didn't like techno. So yeah, my dad was kind of into country, bluegrass, rock, heavy metal, rock and roll. Um, you know what I'm saying? Different shit like that. And then yeah, it was just that. So when my dad was treating like pure shit, I know I'm continuing about that. So when my dad was still continuing to treat me like pure shit, he, you know what I'm saying? I just got tired of it. I really felt like I was unsafe. Because I remember one time I gave his dog Bo, uh, even though the dog was only 15 years old. And I should have never done this in my life, and I do regret it to this fucking day. Oh, the heat's on. And so I'm just sitting there, giving this dog sweets, man. Giving this dog candy, you know. After my dad finally gave in to give me some candy for the holidays, which was Christmas. I mean, My dad got me into Christmas big time. He loved Christmas, and so did I. You know, uh, but on Christmas, me and my dad watched Lord of the Rings, all the trilogy, and we was just listening to. Stop it. We would watch. We wouldn't listen to, but we would watch The Matrix on his VHS. I mean, we watch anything crazy on Christmas. Um, so, but again, the reason why my dad was treating like pure shit because I killed his dog. I mean, so my dad, was finally realizing that Bo was sick, and it was just so bad. My dad be like, "Son," he said, "Why in the fuck?" Gizzy was pissed as fuck, man. He was like, "Why in the fuck? Just say it fuck you where?" Like, what do you mean? There's goddamn fucking dog everywhere. Screaming top of his fucking lungs and shit. And I'm like, Dad, I don't. He said, "What you did to Bo, man? Bo does not look good. He looks pale as fuck. What the fuck did you do to him?" I just want to lie to him. I'm like, I don't know. Bullshit. So what the fuck? What? He said, "What in the fuck do I smell sweets for?" He smelled fucking peanut butter fudge, chocolate, candies and shit like that. It was just my dad fucking lost it. Thank God I did not have my ass fucking black and blue by the time. So my dad fucking avoided punching me because he wanted to so bad. He wanted to punch me square in the gut. And even though I was skinny as fuck, punched me square in the gut. He said, "Ooh," he said, "You're so fucking lucky." But instead, what he fucking did, he fucking swept the motherfucker. He fucking swept up the dog throw up and everything. I mean, even though Bo threw up again, fucking he threw up like 6 or 7 more fucking times. I think I poisoned him. And so my dad left him outside, and Bo was sitting there shivering outside and shit. He's like, "Look at my dog, man! I can't believe you're about to kill him." And then so he went back. He went down fucking downstairs crying and shit. And all I heard was, "Bow!" I thought my dad killed himself, but no, he fucking socked a fucking wall like the size of a fucking. It was the size of most of a fucking um, those dodge or those medicine balls. You throw it at the fucking wall and it leaves a big indent. No, this motherfucking went through. Like his whole fucking fist went through because he had that much force, and he was that pissed. Um, and I looked through it, and he was just fucking crying and shit, and you know what I'm saying? He said, "Why, man?" And then you'll know where I saw his fucking hand all fucked up. You know, he had to get surgery on it, or the fucking cast on it, because he broke his fucking hand. I mean, it was dripping down like this. So, yeah, he snapped the fucking bone. Being retarded. I mean, his arm was fucking, looked like it was almost decapitated, but it wasn't. They put his ass in the fucking cast. They said, "It's going to be a while before you heal back up, Mr. Bottles." You know. Um, so finally, I got tired of it. And when Shun Services came around more often, because the school really knew I was really upset. And they knew I was really depressed. And they said, "What's wrong? You're not looking like yourself." You know. And I said, "I don't know." But see, Bo finally, Bo really survived through all the, sweets I gave him. Okay. And I was really surprised. So, you know what I'm saying? I was, I was really upset, but because my dad was treating like shit, not just because Bo was still around, but I was really upset that my dad was being a complete dick to me then. And I didn't want to be around him much longer. I said, I'm getting tired of living here. You know, he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, son. This is the only house you got. Your stupid mom will take care of you." Well, anyway, so I was really getting tired of how bad he was treating me and shit, because he began to abuse me even more by smacking me upside the fucking head. I was never allowed to play the PlayStation 1 because he had a PlayStation 1. Um, he was really strict about that. I was never allowed to be on his computer. I was never allowed, like I said, I'm never allowed to be on his fucking PS1. I mean, even though he had fucking good ass games, like I told you guys before, I'm gonna mention that again. Um, my dad had all these fucking games. Okay, he had for PS1. He had fucking Tomb Raider. He had Fighting Force. He had Star Wars fighting and stuff. I mean, he had everything action, man. And then hold on, and then he had this one game which was Jax, and I love Jax because I played it before on Nintendo 64 back then, way before I started living with my dad. But yeah, I started playing Jax, man, and I love that fucking game with a passion. And my dad's like, "Well, you know, since you like playing games, let's play games." But he seen me dominate on fucking Fighting Force though. I mean, he seen me fucking go ham. He loved it. Um, but yeah, I was never allowed to play his games ever again because that was really how I was with him. Well, actually, how he was with me. So yeah. What, dude?
Not me.
Oh my god, mail or Gmail. I'm not into David Bowie. Stupid freaking Pinterest. But yeah, I mean, my dad was being complete dick to me. So once the fucking insurance services came around and everything, I started, telling them, that my dad was being a dick to me, and I didn't want to live with him anymore. Well, that didn't work. So I had to make up a fucking lie, and I know this is probably going to change everything in my life. But I decided to make up a lie and say that my dad molested me. So basically, that worked. And the state said, no, we're not going to tolerate it. Um, your dad's going to be locked up. Even though he probably did molest me, because really the lie detector said my dad was lying. So he probably did molest me, but I probably don't remember. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, my dad, finally got locked up for it, and finally I got fucking taken away from my dad. And I got plenty of stories to tell. What? Hold on. I'll finish that real quick. I'll be done. I'll be done in a minute. Please. I have not finished this yet. Let me leave one thing where I left off. Where I'm going to leave off. That's why I like to have my own fucking thing. So I don't get bothered. Anyway, we well, here we are with my dad, molesting and shit. So the fucking lie detector basically, said he was lying about it. He probably did. But he got locked up in jail for, actually, my dad said prison last time I talked to him. But yeah, he said he got locked up in prison just because of everything. But he still denies it till this fucking day. Oh, I never molested you. Anyway, I'll tell you about that later. Whatever, So, um, when my dad got locked up and everything, my dad basically abandoned me. I started living with my foster care, my foster mother, Kim. That's when we start, and that's when we leave. That's when we leave at, because you know what I'm saying. It gets really good from there, but it gets dark again after that. So, um, again, guys, I hope you, like I said, I hope you guys were listening and stuff. But I'll make a part 3 after Lacey's getting done, getting changed and stuff. And but yeah, there's lots more things I'll tell you. I mean, that's where I left off, which was Kim Wojciechowski, my foster mom. So yeah, but get ready for part 3. I just hopefully it's gonna be bright. Well, I hope you guys are probably thinking, well, hopefully the story brightens up a little bit. It does, but in the end, it don't. So, like I said, the stories stories of my life is like dark, light, dark, but it has some funnies and sads in it, but like I said, it's crazy how my story of my life is. My life is crazy, seriously. So, again, reminding myself before I end this video, we left off at Kim Wurzelbacher. This is, you have to make a part 3. That's, notes to myself. So, if you guys want to watch the rest, actually, if you guys want to watch the first part, feel free before you do this one anyway. So, I didn't say that in the beginning of this video, but I had to let you out now. Love you guys, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Peace. Stay tuned for part 3.